And we're back. All right, guys, thanks for sharing your thoughts on E3. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to just ask, Mike, you mentioned the pie in the sky earlier. What would blow your mind at E3 this year?
Sure. I'd like to see some new Square Enix stuff. Obviously, I'm a big JRPG fan, so I'd like to see a lot of announcements from Square Enix. I'm also very interested in the next Xbox and how they want to tie everything into home entertainment. So integration with your phone, integration with Xbox Live, integration with your TV, Netflix, that whole thing. I think there's a lot of room to grow there for Xbox, and I think that'd be very cool if they could announce any type of integration like that.
Mike, what about you?
You know what? I would love to see Valve come because they're still rumbling about the Steam box, everything like that. I know Valve historically is not very convention centered. They're going to do things when they want to do it, so it's probably very unlikely. I really want to know what's going to go on with the Vita and the PS4, how that's all going to work out. And in terms of games, you know what? I'd love to see Watch Dogs look cool. That would be great. Other than that, that's really what I'm looking for. If there's one game that I kind of want to see, I really want to see how Watch Dogs fleshes out.
I want to see Nintendo show up and be like, psych, we're actually doing a press conference.
Reggie just come out.
Reggie comes out and just
for everyone.
Talks about the new Link to the Past for 2 hours. I would consider that a win, personally.
All dressed up as ninjas.
You know what? Maybe there'd be some more Earthbound announcements. How about that?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I would
very
love
cool.
to see.
Yeah.
I don't care for that now.
Oh, no. What a surprise.
I don't care for that now. There's no need of it.
They could always remaster, Mother 3 that never came here but had a fan translation.
And you know what? I guess the other thing too is I would like to see EA or E3 still be kind of relevant, because over the years the constant thing has been, do you really need to announce at E3? Yeah. And it's always been that cool thing, like you got to go to E3. It seems like that's defeated a bit now, and maybe with the console announcements, even though they're not really announcements per se, that might bring some of the hype back to E3, because it's such an awesome time when everything does get announced. Hopefully this event is a little bit more uplifting than, especially last year.
Yeah, I hope for that, but I don't see it. I'm a lot more skeptical on E3. I think things are going to just slide down the way they have, where, Metal Gear 5 got announced, not at E3. Microsoft and Sony did their thing, not at E3. A lot of the stuff happens at PAX
Nintendo
now.
backing out entirely.
Yeah, exactly. So I think E3 could turn it around, but I'm skeptical.
All right, that's all the time we have. We'll keep you posted on Facebook to see how our predictions panned out and to let you know the status of any bets that might come as a result of this roundtable. There might be a few. Thanks for both Mikes for joining us. And of course, you should be sure to tune into our coverage of the major E3 press conferences on our Facebook and Twitter as they're happening June 11th to the 13th. But in the meantime, Mike, we actually have you up to give you the lowdown on Google's contribution to the gaming industry. Let's take a look.
Go. Let's wait. Honey, what are you doing? We gotta go?
It's dressed like a President Day. I'm supposed to be Martin Van Buren.
Who?
Martin Van Buren.
Google? Martin Van Buren.
Whether you're a gamer or not, I think it would be pretty hard for anyone to imagine a day goes by where they don't interact with some Google service or product. Google is probably the most unifying service out there, and whether you're a Google Plus social media whiz or you're trying to use Google search to find what the weather is like, there's one thing that will stop you dead in your tracks: the Google Doodle. The Google Doodles are a break from the typical Google splash screen that you arrive at when you punch in the Google web address. Typically, these are small drawings that are meant to commemorate some sort of anniversary date or milestone in human history, or to remind you that today may be a certain holiday. That Mother's Day one is really helpful there. Thanks, Google. Now, while some of these can be a bit of time wasters in themselves, as the images usually can be clicked on to give you more information about something you didn't even realize you cared about, what will 100% full stop any work being done is when that doodle is interactive. Now, some Google Doodles are interactive in the basic sense. They let you click on some things in the image and see some changes, but some of these are full-blown browser games. And the great thing about these, unlike some of the other games we talk about on the show, it's a safe guarantee that if your computer can get on the web, you'll be able to run these no problem. So join us now as we count down our top 5 favorite Google Doodle game. At number 5, the Turing Machine Google Doodle. Alan Turing may not be a household name, but if you're sitting at your computer, you have Alan Turing to thank. Turing was a mathematician that developed a theoretical machine that worked on formal logic. This machine does, at a basic level at least, what your computer or your phone or your console might be doing when you turn it on. Now, game might be a little bit of a stretch here, and what you're doing is using the operations of a Turing machine to match a sequence in the upper right corner. Kind of like a puzzle game. It's a little confusing, but once you figure it out, it's actually a lot of fun to try and work out the logic that goes into these puzzles. Coming in at number 4, the Les Paul and Robert Mogg birthday doodles. Alright, so these are probably not games per se, but I can promise that they will still consume a huge amount of time, so long as you're by yourself or have a set of headphones. These doodles are meant to commemorate the birthdays of Robert Mogg, developer of the Moog synthesizer, and Les Paul, one of the most iconic names in the guitar industry. Both of these doodles allow for you to play and record your very own tunes to share with the world. Now, truth be told, I'm not the best person to show you how cool they are, but here's a great rendition of Can't Take My Eyes Off of You on the Les Paul. And what I'm sure will be a fan favorite, the Tetris theme on the Moog. Number 3, the 2012 Olympic Games. To commemorate the Olympic Games, Google released several doodles allowing for you to play in some popular Olympic sports. The games included basketball, soccer, hurdles, and a slalom canoe race, and all events were scored and given a medal ranking at the end. Now, it was pretty obvious when someone discovered these on Google, as their keyboard went from quietly clicking around to hearing the arrow keys and spacebar being jammed furiously to make the shot or sink the basket. Several other doodles coincided with the Olympics as well, however most of these were not the interactive ones that we're mentioning today. At number 2, Zamboni. There is so much awesome in this Google Doodle. First, Zamboni allows you to recreate the life of a great Canadian hero, the Zamboni driver. You clear the ice after pond skates, hockey games, and figure skating, so that the skaters have a clean sheet of ice for the next round. This game is also 100% 8-bit classic, as you pick up power-ups while driving and are treated to some stellar chiptune sounds to accompany the game. I don't know about the rest of the world, but I think Canada should have declared a national holiday when this doodle came out. If you worked in an office, at home, or just had access to your computer, productivity was at a standstill. And at number 1, the best Google Doodle game, Pac-Man. Pac-Man is a great game, period, but Google went out of their way to incorporate it right into their standard logo. The option to insert coin to start playing is pure genius, and while yes, the map is a little bit different than the original, it sure still is a ton of fun. Like Zamboni, this game also has some great chiptune backing music, and sounds just like you remember if you played the arcade cabinet. It also kept score, which meant as soon as you played out your quarter, you knew you were going to play again to see if you could beat your last round. Of course, there are a few things that deserve an honorable mention. Typing in Zergrush into the Google search bar will generate what appears to be a pretty standard web page at first. However, your page quickly becomes overrun by little yellow and red Google O's that come down to destroy your search results. This is meant as a tribute to StarCraft fans, and the game even allows you to track your APM, or actions per minute, to check out to see if you have pro-level skills. Another recent addition can be found by doing a Google image search on the term Atari Breakout. This will transform the standard image result screen into a game of Breakout for the Atari. This game also preserves its awesome retro sounds, and if needed can be closed to return to the image result screen, if you really did in fact intend to find Atari Breakout images. As always, Game Code fans, we'd love to hear the Google Doodles that you love. Visit us on facebook.com/GameCodeTV, where you will find links to all the doodles featured in this episode, and of course, please share your faves.
Today we'll be taking a look at the big 3 titans of the MOBA genre, League of Legends, Dota 2, and Heroes of Yore.